I told you guys, man, Diego Chavez, right, is an 8-round, 6-round fighter. That's what he is, yeah? That's what he is. He's got decent power, you know. He can box a little and he can slug a little. But he's not brilliant at neither. He doesn't have thunderous power. He doesn't have brilliant boxing skills. And he's not a very good inside fighter either. And Brandon Rios eventually got him out of there via disqualification because this guy was frustrating. His legs were going. Brandon was beckoning him to come inside and fight. He didn't want it no more. He didn't want to stay in the pocket no more. So, you know, at first he was clutching the arm. Illegal maneuver, can injure the elbows, etc., etc. He couldn't do that no more. And then in the later rounds, when Brandon was getting close to him and they were backing out the exchanges, he kept pushing his glove in Brandon's face, you know, and he got disqualified. How many points did he lose? 3 or 4 points. He wasn't boxing anymore. He wasn't interested in fighting no more. So I've got no complaints about the result. He's an 8-round fighter, so he got exposed to a degree, you know, and that's boxing, man. That's boxing. Robert Garcia, he gave Brandon the right act, you know, in the mid to late rounds, and Brandon just dug in there, man, and the body attack took the wind out of Chavez's sails, and he had no answer for it at all, none at all, you know. All of a sudden, the hard man wasn't the hard man. He's running now. Not boxing, he was running. You know, looking for a way out. The messed up thing is when he was boxing on his toes and pot-shotting Rios, he looked like a vastly superior fighter to Rios. But, you know, the guy's a crackpot. He's obviously a crackpot. He hasn't got... Well, he's just an 8-round fighter. That's why. He's an 8-round fighter. He couldn't maintain it. And you need to bear in mind, Brandon is not as easy to beat as he looks. He really isn't. So Brandon Rios manages to get something in the win column after, 2 losses on the bounce. Diego Chavez goes back to Argentina. I don't want to hear you guys talking about his skill set no more and how good he was. I was just baffled for so long. Why does this guy's name keep coming up? You keep telling me this guy is a world-class welterweight contender after a losing effort to Keith Thurman. Let's not get it twisted. He lost comprehensively to Keith Thurman, who is a better fighter than Brandon Rios. And he was losing this fight. He was way behind on points after all the deductions and when he stopped fighting. So, you know, Brandon can't no longer really sort of get any bounce into his step when he's coming inside to trade with you. At times he's falling inside, but he's one tough dude. And he's quite fit. He's very fit as well, man. You know, and it just shows you what kind of level Pacquiao is to outbox him so soundly. Pacquiao done a much cleaner and technically efficient job than Richard Abreu. I know Richard Abreu appointed him, but I just didn't like... there was just something about his boxing I didn't like, man. You know, Brandon's not a nice guy to fight. He's not a very nice guy to fight. But some of the uppercuts and straight rights he was taking, it was a bit scary at times. Not scary because he just handled him. He didn't wobble. He didn't buckle. And I think that broke Chavez's spirit. You know. He hurt Thurman bad. He couldn't hurt Brandon Rios. And this is what I'm saying. That's why I don't want to crown Keith Thurman yet. He's got hurt by Sota Karas and this guy. And this guy couldn't hurt Brandon. Why not put Brandon Rios in with Keith Thurman? I wouldn't mind seeing it. I know, Bill, you talking about me? It's an easy fight. Well, let's see it happen. Let's see it play out. If Thurman can beat him convincingly, more power to him. But I'd like to see that fight. I want to see the fight. Personally, you might not want to see it. I want to see it. Brandon Rios is a much better fighter than you guys give him credit for. You know? Just because he ain't got silky skills. And he does get hit a lot. But he's good at cutting the ring down. He's always been good at cutting the ring down, getting his shots off. And if he's not weight drained, you better have done your road work. I tell you that much. You better have done your road work and not skipped any calisthenic sessions at all. Or you're in trouble. You are in trouble. The good thing about Rios, he'll set off at one pace and he can maintain it for the whole duration. That alone makes him a good fighter. Chavez didn't want to get hit no more. That's why he was doing all the foul tactics. He didn't want to get hit. Didn't want to exchange. Didn't want to compete no more. And, you know, even though he didn't quit, inadvertently he did quit by doing all the fouls. Just like Tyson did back in the day. That's still a form of quitting. Just like what Tyson did against Holyfield when he started biting him, you know. Brandon was really angry after the event because he wanted to fight and Chavez didn't want to fight. Chavez is called him and protested. I don't know why they was protesting. You know, the guy had to be thrown out. The referee can only let so much infringements go by. He had to do something there, and he did. He took stringent action and threw him out. And, you know, I ain't in no hurry to see him back again because this guy's become infamous in boxing for doing nothing, really. He put up a good fight for a few rounds, but he hasn't beat a top 20 opponent. I can't name him if he has. Brandon Rios broke his will. Didn't know what to do and Brandon took his best shots. Started holding, clinching, pulling down, doing silly tactics, which he shouldn't have been doing. And I don't know why his corner didn't stop him. Say, stop doing it. The fight is in the balance. You're throwing away points. And then he got himself thrown out. And I can't really say no more on that. So 78 Sports TV. It's on you, bro.
Yeah.